jump, now let's go!
Welcome to Super Fast Tortoise. My name is Derek and we got a deck tech for you. I'm so excited to share this deck tech with you. We got an amazing commander that I've been loving super much of recent history. This card has been amazing. This deck has been amazing. It's awesome. I want to welcome you new peeps to the channel. If you can't hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, toggle that bell for more featured deck techs and a morning show every day, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Yes. Welcome my creep, returning subscribers, welcome my channel members. You rock, you roll. Everything you guys do to help this channel out is amazing. Now, let's get to this deck tech. This deck tech is spicy. We're running an amazing commander. Not the Dragon for two reasons. I don't own an Dragon, and I've worked around not having an Dragon in this deck to make this deck fairly powerful. This deck is a bracket 3 deck, and this deck runs Tiamat. Tiamat is an amazing commander for this deck. He costs 2 generic, white, blue, black, red, green, Wooburg, and is amazing. Legendary creature, Dragon God, 7/7 flyer. When Tiamat enters the battlefield, if you cast it, you search your library for up to 5 dragon cards not named Tiamat. And they have to have different names. And you put them into your hand, then you shuffle your library. Amazing an assortment of a creature. This card is awesome. This card is amazing. He's a great commander. Your goal in this deck doesn't matter if you're attacking for commander damage or not. You want to attack with dragon damage. This deck is awesome. Totally awesome. It wins a lot of games or makes games hard for opponents to play. This game is amazing. This deck is amazing. So let's get into that. Let's go show you the scope. The scope of the deck. Well, you might be asking, what's the scope of the deck? Well, the scope of the deck is being able to organize the cards in ways that make you understand how the deck's supposed to play and lets you see how the deck goes, right? How it functions. Right? For example, this pile right here is my boardwipe pile. And in this boardwipe pile, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different boardwipe cards and effects. And you're like, damn, that's a lot. Well, it's very important and it works in the deck perfectly. In this pile right here, we got the reanimation package. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. We got 5 cards that reanimate cards from your graveyard. Pretty powerful. Pretty good. Then right here in this fancy pile, we got your mana ramp and mana reducing spells, so on and so forth. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 ramp and mana fixing and mana reducing spells. That's pretty powerful. In this pile right here, one of my favorite piles, you can never have enough of this, I swear. This is the haste and protection stack, right? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards in this stack that give our creatures haste. Out of the 6, 3 of them grant protection, like Shroud, Hexproof, or Indestructible. It's pretty solid. Then, in this pile right here, we got draw and tutoring cards. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards that draw or tutor for spells in different ways. It's amazing. Then in this pile right here, this lovely pile, we got a removal package, right? We got a good removal package. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 9, 10, 11 cards that remove creatures or permanents from the battlefield. It's amazing. Then we have 2 token generators in the deck. And we got basic dragons. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 basic dragons in this deck. It's pretty awesome. Pretty neat. Pretty cool. Now that we've gone over the scope, let's go over the cards in this deck. Now for the board wipes in this deck, we got plenty of board wipes in this deck. We got amazing board wipes in this deck. Oh yes. Oh yes. First of all, we got Scavenger Regent, Crux of Fate, Merciless Eviction, Austere Command, Damnation, Wrath of God, Ugin the Spirit Dragon, Farewell, Death Begets Life, and Greek's Wake and Blasphemous Act in this deck. I want to go over 2 of the board wipe cards in this deck and explain why they are good. Ugin the Spirit Dragon is a planeswalker with a board wipe like effect. Ugin has this negative X ability where you exile each permanent with converted mana cost X or less that's 1 or more colors. This card is banger when it comes into play and fixes the board state to help you grow. Now, this is weak against colorless decks, but you're not going against colored decks a lot. Then we have Death Begets Life. It costs 5 generic, a black, green, and blue. This card is awesome. It destroys all creatures at sorcery speed and enchantments. And you draw a card for each permanent destroyed this way. This helps you late game and helps refill your hand late game when you need it and need to get back in the game. It is amazing. Check it out. If you haven't played this card, it is nuts. So good. A staple in this Dragon deck. Now for the reanimation portion of this deck, we run Haven the Spirit Dragon, Mystical Retrieval, Eerie Ultimatum, Shiko Paragon of the Way, and Teneb the Harvester. Those cards are important for the deck. There are people who like to mill your deck and you like to get stuff back. Or maybe you have ways to get stuff back like on your land base. Haven the Spirit Dragon is a key land in this deck. 1 of 2. Haven of the Spirit Dragon taps for a colorless, but adds a colored mana for dragon spells you cast. But you can pay 2 mana, tap it, sacrifice it, and return a dragon creature or Ugin Planeswalker card from your graveyard to your hand. That's a lot of targets, and it's pretty good. Pretty amazing. One card that's interesting I'd like to point out. Shiko, Paragon of the Way, is an interesting card, newer to the deck. Costs 2 generic, a blue, red, and white. Legendary creature Spirit Dragon, 4/5 flying, and vigilance. When Shiko enters the battlefield, exile target non-land card with converted mana cost 3 or less. It could be an instant, sorcery, or a permanent that costs 3 mana or less. And you make a copy of it. So it's reanimation, but in token form. And you can copy that spell. If the spell is a permanent, it becomes a token. This card gets back removal spells and haste engines. This card is nuts. It's pretty good. I like it. I love it. And I think it deserves a highlight. But another card I want to shout out in the deck that I think more people can use in their Izzet-friendly decks. Mystic Retrieval is pretty solid in this deck. Mystic Retrieval does a lot in this deck. It doubles up as a removal spell, a reanimation spell, or any instant or sorcery, even board wipe that you need. It costs 3 generic on blue. It's a sorcery and says return target instant card or a sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. It has flashback for 2 generic and a red. And flashback says you may cast this card from your graveyard for its flashback cost, then exile it. Pretty solid card indeed. Now let's go through our basic dragons of the deck. We are running Ojutai Soul of Winter, Tiamat the Devastator, Dromoka the Eternal, Atarka World Render, and Vorash the Hunter. And there's one dragon I want to point out in this deck that I don't think enough people run, and probably for a good reason. Tiamat the Devastator is an amazing creature in this deck. Not many people run this card because people maybe think it's salty. I don't know. But land destruction has become so important in Commander these days, especially at the bracket 3 to 4 levels. It is no joke. For 3 generic, red, white, and blue, for a 6/6 flyer, you get a creature that says when Tiamat the Devastator deals combat damage to a player, you may pay 2 generic and a red. If you do, destroy up to 2 target lands. Land destruction may be salty in some people's eyes, but it's become important when you're going against cards like Glacial Chasm and other insane cards like Gaia's Cradle. This card is nuts. This card is amazing. Now for our token generators in the deck, we only got 2 of them. We got 2 token generators in this deck, and I want to talk about them really quick. Mariel Sentinel Worm is an amazing card. It costs 3 generic, a blue, red, and green. Legendary creature, Spirit Dragon, 6/6 flying, and War 2. It says, whenever another non-token dragon enters the battlefield under your control, create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a token isn't legendary, if that dragon is legendary. So, Basically, you can copy your legendary dragons for a token, and the token not be legendary, so you keep your tokens. This card is amazing. Probably powerful. I know there's Miriam Commander decks out there, but this card is strong in this deck when it comes into play. It is amazing. Laughless Dragon Queen is an amazing card in this deck. Costs 2 generic and 2 red. Legendary creature, dragon, 6/6. Flying. Whenever another non-token dragon you control enters the battlefield, create a 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying. Just a random 5/5 dragon creature token. It also has pay generic and a red. Dragons control get +1/+0 until in turn. A board buff on a creature. This dragon is awesome and amazing and changes combat for the better. And that's what you want in a dragon deck like this. Now I want to get to the draw portion of the deck. I'm saving ramp for later because you'll understand why. The draw portion of the deck, the tutoring portion, we got Maelstrom, the Spirit Dragon, Urini, the Enrichant, Frostcliff Siege, Gifts Ungiven, Phyrexian Arena, Sylvan Library, Sensei's Divining Top, Elemental Bond, Groot's Uprising, and Up the Beanstalk as amazing cards in this deck. Maelstrom of the Spirit Dragon is an amazing card in this deck. This land is actually pretty powerful. I want to bring it up because it's one of the important lands in the deck. To add 1 mana of any color, and you spend that mana only to cast a dragon spell or an omen spell, which works in this deck for like 1 card. 4 generic and tap, sacrifice this land, search your library for a dragon card, reveal it, put it in your hand and shuffle. So you get a tutor on a land, which helps in the late game when you need it or want it, and get you that target creature that will fix the game. Kind of a game changer, right? Because in my belief, I think any tutor effect is a game changer in Magic, and I think Wizards of the Coast should like implement that as like tutors are just game changers in general, because I think they do. Because most tutors go grab you the card that you need to either win the game or change the game. Urini of the Unwritten is an amazing card in this deck. Probably one of the best commanders we've had in a while. Fitting in the 99 of this deck. Costs 4 generic, blue, red, and green. Legendary creature, Spirit Dragon. Flying, trample, 7/7. Whenever Urini enters the battlefield or attack, you look at the top 8 cards of your library. You may put a dragon card from among them into the battlefield, and you may put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. This card is amazing. This card is strong, and man, it really helps with the deck and the build of the game. This card is amazing in this build. Sylvan Library is an amazing draw card in this deck. If you don't know what Sylvan Library does, it costs a generic and a green. At the beginning of your draw step, you may draw 2 additional cards. If you do, choose 2 cards in your hand, draw on this turn. For each of those cards, pay 4 life, and put the card on top of your library that you don't pay life for. So, 8 life can draw you 2 more cards, which is a lot of life. But what this card does help you do a lot in this game is top deck control, because you draw 3 cards, put 2 back. You draw 2 cards and put 2 back on top of your library. Or you pay 4 life and get an extra card, and sometimes you pay 8 life to get a full grip of those 3 cards, because it helps you dig through your deck. This card is amazing, so check it out. Frostcliff Siege in this deck is amazing and probably underrated. This card does a lot with the haste engines. Like, I know I have haste engines in its own pile, but this particular card can be a haste engine or a draw card. And I have the draw card because I usually use it to draw cards. It's versatile. Frostcliff Siege costs a generic, a blue, and a red. It's an enchantment. It says, when this enchantment enters the battlefield, choose Jeskai or Teamer. Jeskai says, whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. So, if you connect with a creature during combat, at least one creature, you draw a card. Teamer says, creatures you control get +1/+0 and have trample and haste. Frostcliff Siege is amazing tech in this deck, in the draw portion of this deck, and I wanted to highlight that for you. Now let's get to the haste engine and protection part of the deck. We got Teamer Ascendancy, Fervor, Rhythm of the Wild, Lightning Grease, Swiftfoot Boots, Call of the Spirit Dragon as amazing cards. Now there's 2 cards out of this stack that I want to highlight. Teamer Ascendancy is an amazing card in this deck. It costs a blue, red, green, it's an enchantment. It says creatures you control have haste. But also, whenever a creature you control with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield, not uncast, but enters the battlefield, you may draw a card. That even works for the tokens that we build in this deck. This card is an amazing all-star. If you haven't played with this card and you're running Teamer, run this card. It is amazing. Call of the Spirit Dragons is an amazing protection spell that we have in the haste and protection bit here. It costs Wooburg, white, blue, black, red, green. And it's an enchantment. It says dragons you control have indestructible, which is solid. Now, it doesn't get around exile, neg 1 effects like, you know, like toxic or poison or anything else. There's ways around indestructible. Indestructible makes it harder to remove, and that's what's solid. It says at the beginning of your upkeep, for each color, put a +1/+1 counter on a dragon you control of that color. If you put +1/+1 counters on 5 dragons this way, you win the game. Alternative win cost is amazing. I mean, this happens at the beginning of your upkeep for each color. And most of your dragons cost 3 colors in this deck. This card is an all-star because you can end up putting a lot of counters on dragons. This card is amazing. I wanted to highlight this card as being an amazing card. So check it out. Run it. If you're not running it, it's pretty solid. It's pretty fun. Now let's get to the removable portion of the deck. The removable portion of the deck is solid. It's amazing. It's crazy. It's awesome. I think you will love it, and I think you will enjoy it. We got Urini, the Song and Ending. We got Inevitable Defeat, Utter End, Mortify, Anguished Unmaking, Vindicate, Generous Gift, Putrefy, Maelstrom Pulse, Imprison in the Moon, and Ugin, Eye of the Storms. Now, there are a few cards here I want to talk about and explain why they're good, why they are in the deck, and go through the notion that these cards are more powerful than you think they are. Ugin, Eye of the Storm is a powerhouse in this deck, right? 5-color deck, you're like, how can this be? Well, there's a reason why I've been waiting for Ramp to come into the late game so you can see how that works. Ugin, Eye of the Storm costs 7 mana. It's a 7 loyalty legendary Planeswalker Ugin, right? And he does awesome. When you cast a spell, you exile up to 1 target permanent. 1 target permanent. That's 1 or more colors, right? That's pretty solid. So it could be enchantment, it could be artifact, it could be creature, it could be anything that's colored permanent. Now, whenever you cast a colorless spell, exile up to 1 target permanent. That's 1 or more colors. So it turns all your mana rocks that you have that are colorless into removal spells. Pretty solid. So if you pull an expedition map in the late game, you're like, oh, this is crap. But Ugin's on the battlefield, you're like, ooh, 1 mana removal. Solid. And also, for +2, you gain 3 life and draw a card. Or for 0, you add 3 colorless mana to your mana pool to ramp you into dragons. Pretty solid. You know, then his ultimate is not really important here because you can search your library for any number of colorless non-land cards, exile them, shuffle until end of turn. You may cast those cards without paying the mana cost. That's pretty good. Not a lot of colors going on in this deck. Using them for the removal aspect and the ramp aspect, and that's why he's in the deck. And that's why we saved him near the end, so we can get the ramp spells after. But another 3 removal spells I want to talk about, are good for you. I want to explain why they're more powerful than you think. Imprisoned in the Moon is an amazing removal spell, and you're probably wondering why. Like, you know, it gets around commanders, right? It stops commanders from going back into command zone, which is really powerful and really amazing. Imprison the Moon costs 2 generic and a blue. It says enchant creature, land, or planeswalker, which is most commanders or important spells. But what you want to talk about here is the land portion. Enchanted permanent is a colorless land with tap to add 1 colorless and loses all other abilities. What? This is pseudo land destruction, right? Well, like you're not really getting rid of the land, but you're stopping land. So like if you have Glacial Chasm or you have Gaia's Cradle on the battlefield on your opposing side of the board, you can stop those lands. And other powerful lands too. I'm not going to negate the idea there are other powerful lands out there. There are lands that do some crazy stuff, so stopping a land is important to helping you win the game. Generous Gift is an underrated card. Now, I know a lot of people run Generous Gift in their decks, in their commander decks, but I don't think they use it to its full potential. Generous Gift says destroy target permanent. A permanent enchantment, artifact, creature, or land. And that land part being key, because land destruction is important in Commander nowadays. Its controller creates a 3/3 green elephant, and you don't care about that because you're getting rid of the peskiest thing on the battlefield that they control. So, destroy target permanent, generous gift is amazing. And yes, that land destruction is important because there are people who are learning that lands are powerful. Lands are one of the most unstoppable things in the game. You can't counter a land, you can't stop a land from coming to play, but now you know you can destroy a land, right? That's important. And add instant speed with generous gift. The last card I want to bring up in the removal spell is a classic old school card that's been reprinted several times, and that is Vindicate. For a generic white and a black at sorcery speed, you destroy a target permanent. A permanent creature, enchantment, artifact, battle, land. Yes, I'm highlighting land because land cards are hard to deal with. And there are spells I'm showing you in different colors that destroy land. It's pretty amazing. Check it out. Right? Vindicate is pretty powerful. It's going to be powerful. The more powerful wizards makes magic cards, right? No matter what permanent they're coming out. The words destroy target permanent is always going to be resourceful. Even sagas. Vindicate is a powerful spell. Get your copies now. If you don't own it, it is pretty powerful. It's pretty good. Trust me, it's really good. Now, let's get to the ramp, mana fixing, and mana reducing spells in the deck. First of all, we have Dracogenesis, Old Gnawbone, Tival, Arbiter of Virtue, Arcane Signet, Expedition Map, Wayfarer's Bauble, Chromatic Lantern, Thran Dynamo, Herd Heirloom, 3 Visits, Orb of Dragonkind, Dragonstorm Globe, Farseek, and Soul Ring. These cards are insane for the deck. There's a few of them I want to cover over, but you notice there's a lot of colorless mana ramp in there. Because we're in a 5-color deck, we kind of need the colorless ramp, right? And that feeds in Ugin Eye of the Storms. That's amazing. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 colorless spells in the deck. So that can double and add on as removal in the late game if Ugin Eye of Storms is out. But let's talk about a couple of the cards on the list because I think they need to shout it out. Tival, Arbiter of Virtue. It is an amazing card. Virtue costs 2 generic, a black, blue, and green. Legendary creature, Spirit Dragon, 6/6, flying, and lifelink. Lifelink being super important on this card. Alright, spells you control have Delve, right? Delve is such an amazing mechanic. Delve says each card you exile from your graveyard while casting those spells costs 1 less to cast, 1 colorless less to cast for each card exiled this way. Right, so it turns your 6 mana dragons into 3 mana dragons, so you take 3 damage, right? You're like, damage? Yes, because the next text on here is whenever you cast a spell, any spell, you lose life equal to its mana value. Yes, that's a painful thing, but in late game, you're going for it. You usually have a decent amount of life to spread your game. Now, this card comes at risk, but it does net you your life back in combat. That's pretty powerful. So Tival is very important in this deck. Like, I played him, he actually performed very well. You think about the restrictions, but he does a lot. And yes, I understand there's reanimation in the deck and you care about reanimating things, but you can be selective on what you're reanimating. So Tival is pretty solid. Look at Tival right there. Old Gnawbone is a saucy card. Has a hefty price tag on him. 5, 6, 7 mana for a 7/7 flying creature. Old Gnawbone is insane. Legendary creature, dragon, right? 7 mana legendary creature, dragon, 7/7 flying. Insane. Just those stats alone are pretty decent. 7 mana for a 7/7 flying is pretty good. But whenever a creature you control, any creature you control deals combat damage to a player, create that many treasure tokens. Oh my lord. This card is insane and a powerhouse in this deck. Like, I love casting this card. It's pretty solid. It's pretty amazing. It ramps you up. It makes your late game more aggressive. This card is nuts. And trust me, in this deck, you're not hurting on lands. You're getting where you need to be. This Old Gnawbone is insane. And I wanted to bring that up to you because check out this card. If you have never played with an Old Gnawbone, consider looking into it for your green decks. It's pretty amazing. Dracogenesis is an amazing card. You probably think, oh yeah, obviously, staple for a dragon deck. Dracogenesis is amazing. It's awesome. It works amazing. How many times can I say the word amazing to get the point through that? This card is nuts. It costs 6 generic and 2 red mana. Enchantment. It says you may cast dragon spells from anywhere, right? From anywhere. It doesn't give you a restriction. You may cast dragon spells without paying their mana cost. That's from your command zone. That's from your graveyard if it's available. That idea. This card is nuts. This card is amazing. Dracogenesis is awesome. And yes, Dragon deck staple. You're going to run it for reals. Especially with Tiamat. Right? Yes. Cast Dracogenesis. Cast Tiamat. Search for 5 dragons and put them in the battlefield for free. Yes. Tiamat costs free from the command zone. Commander tax non-negotiable. Right? So if you have commander tax on Tiamat, you're just paying the commander tax, not his 7. Right? So this card is powerful and I want to highlight it in the deck. And a land I want to throw in at the end to let you know that exists. If you don't know it exists, it was reprinted in Edge of Eternities. Pretty solid card. It is Crystal Quarry. It taps, add 1 colorless mana to your mana pool, which is solid. It taps for mana. Or you can pay 5 mana, tap it, so 6 mana total to add 5 Wooburg mana to your mana pool. That's white, blue, black, red, green. Solid. This is an all-star. The lands in this deck are improving, and you can check the Architect link in the description below. But there's a lot of triumphs and trilands in this deck to help fix mana curve. I'm trying to speed up the deck still, but the mana base is solid, and it's been running great. I do run 2 of each basic lands in the deck. Like there's 2 of each basic lands in the deck, and yes, Blood Moon can shut down this deck, and Winter Orb can shut down this deck. Like, it's insanity, right? So have fun with it. Bracket 3 craziness. This deck is awesome. You can see the estimated deck cost is $591.78. That's honestly not ridiculous for how much deck costs nowadays. It has a salt summary of 34.47. Yes, look at that salt summary. It's pretty crazy. It's showing your salt sum compared to other decks. It is estimated bracket 3, upgraded 3. That's what it says. Now, if you're wondering how much land we're running, 37 land in the deck. 37 is a good number. I was running 38, but I took it down a notch by 1 land. Look at the deck stats, right? Your average cost in the deck is mixed between black, green, and white. Black, green, and white is the main colors of the deck. So when you're fixing your land, you want black, green, and white for ramping and your removal. There's a little bit of blue, a little bit of red in there for the different things. 17% and 14%. It's pretty solid. But what we want to look at is the mana curve. The mana curve is, you can tell, a hefty portion of the mana curve is dedicated to 2 and 3 and 4 drops. 6 and 7 are kind of up there. 8's kind of up there. But you can see the 3 drops and 2 drops are pretty solid, right? We got 16 3 drops over the deck. So we're guaranteed to see a lot of 3 drops. You got 9 2 drops. So you're going to see a lot of that. A lot of good mix in there. You'll see a mix of 6 drops and 7 drops in your hand. Sometimes a little 8 drop. But I'm telling you, the way the deck's been working, I've been getting a lot of 3 and 2 drops for ramping the game. So it lets you know there's kind of a slow start, but it's not super slow. It's very efficient. Now looking at the deck stats even further, for the anthem sets, there's not a lot of anthems in the deck, but for the draw, there's a 41% chance to draw 7 cards. It's pretty solid. 97% that you're going to get a land in your hand. It's pretty amazing. Protection's 14%. It's minimal. That's the sad fact about this deck, but usually you're pounding town to get through to your opponents with your creatures. Ramp is 50% chance, so you'll see it a lot. That's above average and pretty solid. Recursion is 14%. It's a little low, but it's more for late game shenanigans than it is seeing in your opening hand. Removal is 57%. You're guaranteed to see a lot of removal in this deck. It's awesome. Board wipes is 50%. 50% chance you'll see board wipes throughout the game. You're going to see at least 3 to 4 board wipes in a really good game of Magic. Dragons are 67% of the deck. That's pretty solid. And haste is 36%. So it's a good mix. And with that, everybody, I want to thank you for chilling out with me and watching this deck tech. Let me know what you would do to upgrade this deck, to fix this deck. I want to know how you would take care of this deck and build it up for your own building pleasure. This deck is awesome, and I hope to see more deck techs in the future. Just let me know if you like today's deck tech. Let me know if you like the deck and what you think of the deck. Maybe I'm the boardwipe king, as my friends call me jokingly, right? They jokingly call me the boardwipe king, but am I really the boardwipe king? Am I running too many boardwipes? I don't know. Let me know. But hey, thank you for watching, right? I'd love to know your thoughts. And with that, my friends, now remember that you're loved. Someone's thinking about you, and if you can, say and or do something positive for someone else, because you might be the change they need today. And with that, my friends, we're going to call this Tiamat deck tech a good go. Bye.
Start the morning with coffee in your cup. Time to hang out with friends and chat it up. Bring a smile and good luck. Hit that like button and let's chat it up. Good times start with us, you and me. Good morning, welcome to the morning coffee show.